Good morning. Hope you're well. It's a little chilly in my studio this morning. We're gonna do today another animation, kind of a simple animation, and just want you to kind of get some more basic tools so that we can start to build up to what would be more advanced animation. If some of you are feeling real comfortable with this, maybe you've played with the tool a little bit and you're already doing your own animations, that's awesome. Please don't feel like you have to wait for me to show you the steps. If you've kind of investigated this and feel like I got this, that's great. I'm going to continue to do little bits at a time for people that maybe aren't as comfortable with it, that are still kind of learning about it. But eventually, probably the end of this week, I'll give you like an official assignment where you can use all of the skills that you're building or already have built. So yeah, let me click over to Piskel. I'll show you one that I've been working on this morning. All right, so this is a sprite that I've been working on today. If you look over here in the right corner, that little tiny box there, you can kind of see what I've started to animate. You can also see here I've got four cells, four separate little drawings, and each one is very slightly different. So this is the first one, then the second one, third one, fourth one. You can see they're just tiny little adjustments. And actually this fourth one I need to do a little bit of work on, but I'm going to come back to that. Let me show you how I would like for you to get started. So I'm going to go back up here to the right corner. I'm going to go create sprite, and you can see we're on a brand new window. I'm going to go over to check my size. So today I'm not going to ask you to make it 16-bit. We're going to do 32 by 32. And so you don't need to resize it. It should be ready to go. I'm going to come back over and I'm going to start to create just kind of a little landscape scene. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my color. So I've come down over here to that left corner where the box is. I'm going to make just kind of a little rolling hills or mountain landscape. So I'm going to click on a green here. I'm going to choose, kind of find a green that I like. I'm going to go for maybe a slightly darker green. Once I've got that color, I'll make sure that I'm still on my pen tool. Let's say, just again to refresh your memory from yesterday, let's say that I was on the eraser tool and I wanted to easily kind of skip to the pen tool without having to move my mouse over there. I can just touch the letter P on my keyboard and it'll automatically put me there. So I'm going to start by, like I said, just making some kind of rolling hills here. If any of you are wondering, I'm using my touchpad on my laptop. I feel like I might have said that yesterday. Let me undo that real quick. So I just want to point out, so this little space here, in a little while I'm going to use the paint fill bucket, the paint bucket tool. And if this space is not closed off, so if there's that tiny little gap there, then the paint bucket tool will fill the whole screen. So I'm just going to kind of close that up with a little box there. I'm going to show you a tool here. It's called the stroke tool. So that would be, you can see it there. It would be the letter L on your keyboard if you wanted to just do that quickly. And I'm going to just kind of create, the stroke tool is really nice for making nice long straight lines. So I'm just going to make a straight line there. And now I'm going to show you the paint bucket tool. So there's the paint bucket. That would be the letter B on your keyboard. So I'm actually not going to put my mouse there. I'm just going to touch B. And now I've got, you can see the little paint bucket icon has become my mouse. And once any place I touch inside these green spaces, oh, I see up here one more little place I need to fill. So I'm going to go P for pen tool and just fill that space. And actually, you know what? I'm going to undo that. So let's, just so we can see. So I'm going to go back to the bucket tool. And I'm going to, let's see what happens when we fill this space. Oh, I guess maybe I was wrong. So that's okay. I had an experience with that once before. Maybe there was like a real gap. But I've filled this space. Now I need to make some other colors. So I'm going to come back to my box here that's got that green. And I'm going to make a blue sky. So I'm going to scroll this down until I find kind of a blue that I would like. I'm going to move my my little window up there, and now I'm going to choose, I'm just going to go ahead and fill this space. Got my blue sky. I want to make a road, just a very simple road. So I'm going to come back, I'm going to choose another color. I'm actually going to take this guy over. If you come all the way on the left side, you're going to find grays and blacks, or various shades of gray. So I'm going to go with this color, and I want to use my stroke tool because I just want to make a straight line all the way across. So that's part of a road there. I'm going to make the bottom, this is a curb that I'm creating. I'm going to make another curb down here. So now I've got a road that's coming along with this. I'm going to come back to my color again. So that gray, I need a darker gray because I'm going to fill in the road now. So I'm just going to roll this down until I get slightly darker gray. And I'm going to use my paint bucket tool again to fill in this road. So I've got kind of a nice dark road there. I want to make the bottom part of my screen like green grass on the side of the road. I'm going to use the same color that I have for these rolling hills back here. If I easily want to find that, I can come over here to the right side. You can see these colors. So I'm going to click on that green that I want to use. You can see back over here that it's changed to green. I'm still in the paint bucket tool, so all I need to do is touch this road, or the bottom part of the road here, and I've got green grass now. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a yellow, actually not the last thing, anyways, I'm going to make a yellow line down the middle of my road. If you want to create perspective, which you should, if you want to make it look like this is kind of moving, this image is away from us, then we're going to place the road in a very specific place, or the yellow line in a very specific place. So I'll show you that in just a second. I'm going to come back to my stroke tool. If I place the line in the middle of the road, then it's going to look not normal. It's going to look not the way that it should. So I'm going to place it a little bit higher, and that's going to make it look like the road is kind of slanting away from me. So I've got my yellow line. I'm on the stroke tool. I'm just going to go ahead and make this line all the way across. And now that will make it look a little bit more realistic, a little bit more three-dimensional. The last thing I do before I show you the next step is I'm going to make some clouds. Actually, I'm just going to make one cloud. Come back to this color. I take my little window here and I put it as far up into the corner as I can. I'm pretty close to white there. So I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to go to my pen tool, and I'm just going to make a little cloud here. Not thinking about it too much, just kind of a funky, wobbly shape. And that's a good cloud. That'll work. All right, so I'm ready to start to animate this, to start to make this move. What I want to do is I want to come up to this window. This is like my first frame, and you can see there those two sheets of paper looking icon. That's duplicate. So I want to duplicate this frame. This, I think, is the easiest way to do this little animation here. So I've duplicated it, and you can see that right now I've got two identical frames here. If you come down here to the hand, this hand, it's a move tool, so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click just anywhere on this image because I'm still in my frame 2, and I'm just going to shift the whole thing to the side about 4 frames. I want to try not to let it slip down because it's gonna want to slip down or up. I just want it to go straight to the side. I'm actually going to go one more frame. We can speed up this animation just a little bit. So I moved it over one more, and now I'm going to go back to my drawing tools, and I'm just going to I'm going to fill in this whole empty space here on the side. So I've got my drawing tool. I'm going to touch green to start. See that down in the bottom corner there? Touched my green, and I'm going to just continue this hill. So just kind of making it go there. I'm going to come down here. Basically right now I'm creating spaces that I'm going to come back and fill in just a little bit. I'm going to again use my palette colors over here. I want that light gray to continue that line. I want to continue the light gray line down here. Those are my curves on my road. And then I'm going to come back to my yellow and just complete my yellow line for my road. Now I'm going to use my fill bucket, my bucket tool, and I'm going to touch that dark gray so I can fill this road, fill the space below the yellow line. Going to touch my green so that I can fill in the rest of the grass here on up. And now I'm going to touch the blue so that I can fill in the sky. If I want to add just one more little detail to start to make this look a little bit more realistic, I'm going to come back to my drawing tool, my pen tool, and I'm going to just touch the color for my cloud. And I'm going to have a cloud start to enter this frame. So just, you can see I've just started a cloud there. It's going to start to come into my image. And that's pretty much it. I'll do one more with you just so you can kind of see that process one more time. I'm going to come back over here. I've got my second frame now, which is different from the first frame because I moved it over. And I'm going to duplicate this frame, my second frame. So now I've got that. I'm going to go back to my move tool. I'm going to shift this whole thing over about 5 or 6 squares. 4, 5. Let's move it 5 frames over. All right, and now I'm ready to start doing some drawing to fill in what's left of this space. So I've got my drawing tool set. I've chosen my green from my palette over here. I'm going to just kind of continue this hill down, make that straight line there, come down here. Actually, I'm going to switch now to that light gray so I can fill in some of these lines. Remember, if I do something I'm unhappy with, I can just do Command Z, and that's undo. So that's an easy way to fix something that you're not happy that you just did. I'm going to switch to my yellow from my palette there, continue this line, and then I'm going to use my fill bucket. Coming back to my bucket, choosing my colors from my palette here, so dark gray, going to switch to the green, fill in some green, and I'm going to fill in my blue. And then the last step, you can see I've got a kind of a weird looking cloud there, so I'm just going to complete that cloud, choose my pen tool, come back to my palette and choose that white, and now I'm going to just kind of make the rest of this cloud. Yep. All right. So, and again, you can kind of see up here the little bit of animation that is happening. Now, we'll spend more time tomorrow kind of figuring out some things that we can do with this. Once we're creating a world right now, and tomorrow I'll show you how to, we can put a little car in this world, or we can start to put some guys in this world once we've kind of built it up. I would recommend that you do probably 7 or 8 of these if you want to make a nice little animation where everything kind of comes together. And I'll show you tomorrow a way that you can easily kind of duplicate everything. But thanks for joining me. Hope you're well. Hope you had a good day today. And I'll talk to you again soon.